Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today, I have a special holiday treat for you all as a huge thank you for all the love and support you've shown the channel through the year. I always try to do like a fun holiday episode or a fun holiday movie, something like that, just to get in the festive spirit. So this year, I decided to jump into Friends. We're going to be talking Friends Season 7, Episode 10, The Holiday Armadillo. And as a special treat, I have my favorite holiday armadillo here with me, my husband Jay. Say hey.
Oh, hey, I'm Jay. I'm the holiday treat. Not really. But I'm here to watch this and learn some important religious holiday lessons.
Yes, check out his channel. We talk about it all the time, Dr. Bad Vibes. He plays nerdy video games. If you're into that sort of thing, enjoy. Even if you're not, hit that subscribe button. Okay, so Jay has a dirty secret. Jay, we're a close-knit family group here, so why don't you go ahead and reveal to everybody what your dirty secret is?
Well, I wouldn't say it's so much of a secret. It's just nobody ever asks me. But I've never watched Friends. I know probably less about Friends than Jen knows about Marvel movies. And it's nothing personal against Friends or whatever. I have an irrational hatred of shows with laugh tracks. I cannot stand it. It prevented me from watching a lot of shows like Seinfeld. I eventually went back and watched it and realized I missed out. But I don't know. That started somewhere. I guess. Do you remember when like Hanna-Barbera cartoons would put laugh tracks on them? It's like, why? You don't need to have laugh tracks on everything. Tell me what's funny. It's like, I'll laugh when I'm good and goddamn ready.
And before you write me that he sounds very angry, that's a joke. It's off of Always Sunny. The episode, what were they drinking? What was that? The bar desperately tries to win an award and they ring a bell to make them drink. And who was it? It was Dennis says, I'll drink when I'm GD good and ready. Anyway. Okay, I digress. Yeah, Jay's never seen an episode of Friends. Not one. Can you believe I married him anyway? Wow. But he had never seen one. This is his very first episode. So we watched it together. And I want to get your thoughts, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys he was laughing in the middle of this episode. P.S. Here's my history with Friends. I love Friends. I've seen every episode about 100,000 times. I guess in the last few years, I've kind of not watched it as much, but I can pick right back up with it and remember every line of every episode.
Yeah, and again, I'm not hating on Friends. I just haven't watched it. And everybody's got their own thing, you know. Jen loves Friends. She could recite every episode insanely accurately. I guess around the same time, it's probably what got me into watching movies more than TV because, you know, VHS and DVD, you know, you could get everything about any time, you know, just a little delayed. So I mainly watched movies, so I mean I can recite all of RoboCop in a one-man show, but I digress. Let's talk about Friends.
Before we do, I do have to put in a plug for my Patreon. A huge thank you to everybody who's joined lately. I've had a bunch of you guys jump over, and I really appreciate that. Check it out, patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. I do deep dives on all kinds of things, but mostly like Sex and the City stuff. And I did think about maybe doing Friends when I wrap up Sex and the City. I don't know. I might put some Friends on here on the main channel. We'll figure it out together. Don't worry. Check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Real Housewives Recaps. Okay, so this is Season 7. I'm pulling it up. Let's see. Episode 10, The Holiday Armadillo. And I always say it like that because that's how Ross introduces himself. The Holiday Armadillo. I love this show. All right, so it kicks off with Chandler and Monica celebrating their first holiday as a betrothed couple. Of course, Chandler mispronounces it, calls them a betrothed couple.
Okay, yeah, here's where you could pick up your pitchforks, but again, I'm not hating on Friends, I'm hating on the laugh track. The audience laughed so hard at that joke, it's like Danny DeVito's naked body fell out of the couch and everybody lost their minds. It's like it's worth like a chuckle. I don't know why laugh tracks have to blow up every time somebody says something. You know, like Saved by the Bell when two teenagers would kiss and everybody'd be like, "Woo! They gonna bang!"
I totally get what you're saying, and nowadays I wouldn't want to watch a show with a laugh track, but it doesn't bother me from back then. It's just I kind of got used to it, and I don't really pay attention to it so much anymore. I don't know. I don't really think about it. I still love the show. The betrothed couple. Ah! So a funny side note for us, we became a betrothed couple. No, we got engaged and married pretty quick. It was around Christmas time and ended up going to New York for our honeymoon. So I love New York at Christmas time. I think it's great. We did not see Music Man, but we did see other shows. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and coincidentally, while we were in New York, we got on one of those rickshaw tours, and they took us to the Friends Fountain and said, "Hey, you know that show?" And we were like, "Oh."
And on that same trip, I bought something. I think it was a refrigerator magnet, something that said Central Perk on it because I'm super cool. Okay, so what else is going on? I guess we should talk about the episode. So Phoebe brings out the skull. It was her mother's skull, and I love Rachel's reaction to it. She's like, "No, not my mom's. It belonged to my mom." And what does she do with it? She stuffs licorice in it. So they all enjoy licorice treats out of her mom's skull.
Just saying, that skull was probably my favorite thing in the whole episode. I really want a Twizzler skull in the kitchen.
No, no licorice skull. We can eat licorice like human beings out of my midnight toast mugs available at my merch shop. No, no skulls. So it's also right here that we find out Joey has been in the bathroom the whole time. He doesn't say anything. He just walks out and walks across the screen, and we find out he's been in there for a good 30 minutes. And Chandler says, "Lovely." And then the opening credits pop up.
So we go to Chandler asking, "Hey, when we get married, are you going to change your last name to Bing?" And Monica's like, "Nah, Bing's weird. But screw you, Monica. My last name's weird, and Jen had to take it. So there you go."
What are you talking about? Jiggle Slimer is a great name. Just kidding. Phoebe comes in and starts talking to them about, so if you remember, Rachel and Phoebe had to move out of the apartment because of the fire. So there's a lot of living arrangements switching around, but Rachel is with Joey and Phoebe's been living with Monica and Chandler, and Monica would be such a pain in the ass to live with. We saw that episode, remember, with the clean freak stuff. But she talks about how much fun Rachel's been having living with Joey. Phoebe's surprised to hear it. She starts to get hysterical, and that she really wants Rachel to live with her again. And the scene ends with Chandler saying, "Bing doesn't seem so weird now, does it?"
So it cuts to Joey's apartment. He's playing drums like a madman. It turns out Phoebe got him drums for Christmas, and drums are cool, whatever. What I want to focus on is on the door in Joey's apartment. The one little tidbit I know about Friends, it's called a magnadoodle. I actually had one of those as a kid on his door. It's kind of like an Etch-a-Sketch, but you use a pen. So I guess they change the drawing every episode. So just a little fun fact there. And also they're fun. I loved mine. We got one for our kid. I still play with it. So if you got kids, you should get them a magnadoodle or whatever the equivalent is now. And if you don't have kids, get one for yourself because they're fun.
Yep, the difference is our kid draws cute little hearts all over it, and you draw butts farting all over it constantly. But yeah, magnadoodles are fun. I love looking at the drawings back there, and I love to think that it was somebody's job to put new drawings up every time. So the idea is that Phoebe got Joey drums for Christmas to drive Rachel crazy, right? But Joey immediately loves the drums, and we'll find out later, so does Rachel. So Phoebe has to go back to the drawing board of what could she possibly get to make Rachel want to leave and live with her again. Okay, so we go over to Chandler, and Chandler and Monica, they're going to get their table in 45 minutes. They have tickets to the Music Man, so they're trying to hurry it along. So she tells him, "You need to give this guy money and to be smooth about it." Well, we know Chandler can't be smooth about anything. He goes to shakes the guy's hand, puts the money in the wrong hand. I'm trying to think. Have you ever had to tip anybody to get a better table or anything?
Threaten maybe, but not really. No, I mean, most places we go to are pretty agreeable. I mean, they're always nice at Burger King.
That's right. Starbucks just tells us to sit wherever the hell we want to sit.
So Ben and Ross are playing. Christmas is coming. They're talking about Christmas Eve. He's trying to work in Hanukkah. About this point, I realized, oh, hey, that's the kid from Big Daddy, who, if I'm not mistaken, is played by twins. I guess that was a common thing. It probably still is, like to get twins to play kids, because you never know if one's going to poop their pants or be crying over something. So having a backup in your back pocket's a good deal.
So I think it has to do with the amount of time they're allowed to work, but I like your answer much better. Yeah, it's in case they poop their pants. I think this kid is past his pooping his pants age, but I'm not really sure.
Hey, I'm 41, and you could never be safe.
So what's actually happening here is we find out that Ben has Ross for the holidays. He wants to teach him about Hanukkah, And Ben grew up celebrating Christmas and doesn't quite understand and thinks he does this heartbreaking thing like, I don't get Santa this year. Was I bad? And Ross has to say, no, you're super good. You're his favorite guy. Nobody's mad at you. Santa's coming. It's okay, But Ross is back at a loss of what to do and how to handle this whole Santa versus Hanukkah thing.
I wanted to scream because they're playing this whole thing so wrong. It's a kid. Explain to him, hey, Hanukkah, 8 nights of gifts, Christmas, or day, 8 days of gifts, Christmas, 1 day of gifts, 8 plus 1 is 9, 9 days of gifts. Lead in with that, do the other hocus pocus stuff after that, and then there you go.
So we're back to Monica and Chandler. She's trying to give him tips on, how to tip this guy and how to put money in his hand to make sure that they would get their table and go on to the show that they're supposed to make. And she brings up Richard. So I had to explain to Jay who Richard was. And I miss Richard. I actually really liked his episodes. I liked when he was on the show. But of course, Monica and Chandler belong together. But Chandler, ever the not smooth guy, goes up to tip the guy, can't find where he put his money. Meanwhile, the guy has seated other people in front of him while he's searching himself for the money. From here, we go over to Phoebe, who hears drumming and is smiling to herself, thinking it's Joey playing the drums and that Rachel must be miserable. But nope, it's Rachel playing. She's having the best time. And Phoebe says, oh, good. I was worried it would create an unbearable living situation. And Rachel shows off, hey, we learned a song. And they do the tequila.
Yeah, it was just a quick little chuckle scene, kind of stitched in there to keep the story moving along. Not much to add to that, but as I was watching it, I'm like, wow, like Jennifer Aniston does not age. It's not a new observation by anyone, but it just kind of hit me there. It's crazy, huh?
It's got to be all the smart water and Aveeno skin cream, right? Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. It is crazy. I'm still reeling so in real time, Matthew Perry's book has come out, and he reveals that he was, well, again, because of YouTube and things you can't say, he was on all the substances, so he doesn't really recall a lot of this stuff because of the substances he was on. It just kind of blows my mind to think about that. But anyway, have you guys read the book? Let me know in the comments if you've read it and if it's worth reading, because I thought about checking it out, but then I thought, oh, it'll make me sad to hear stuff like that. I don't know why, because I'm cheesy. So when I see Joey and Rachel together, I can't help but think of the weird storyline where they tried to hook those two up for a little bit. I really want to know your thoughts on that. Jay will have no thoughts on that because he had no idea until just now that was a thing. But you guys that watch Friends like I do and diehard Friends fans, what did you think? Did you think that was weird? Were you rooting for those two? Let me know that too, because I'm very curious. So Gunther brings them coffee. Chandler decides to try to practice tipping. Gunther drops coins everywhere. Of course, Joey's excited by this, picks up the coins, gives some to Phoebe and says, hey, I owe you $49.50 now. Chandler and Monica are mad about the drums. They're upset with Phoebe, saying, why did you have to get him drums? And Monica figures out that it's to annoy Rachel, so she'll want to not live with Joey anymore, but instead live with Phoebe.
So then we see that Joey has gotten goggles so he can throw his drumsticks around and not hurt his eyes. And I kind of laughed at that part because I wonder if that's how Neil Peart started out from Rush, or maybe the drummer from Def Leppard. Maybe he just needed an eye patch. So anyways, we learned that Phoebe got him a tarantula. So Phoebe's like, oh, Rachel, I'm sorry. What was I thinking giving him such a gross, scary spider? But that backfired, turns out. Rachel loves it, had one as a kid, but then Joey is scared out of his mind and does not like spiders, and especially tarantulas.
Yeah, so Joey leaves absolutely terrified, and Phoebe tells Rachel that the apartment is ready, but you're having so much fun with Joey. And Rachel kind of figures out the plan and says, oh, you did all this to try to get me to live with you. She says, well, if you're trying to freak me out, you should have gotten him a fish. They really freak me out. Phoebe's like, fish. Okay, so they decide that they want to go see the apartment together. And before they go, Phoebe says that Monica says that they have to make the drumming stop. So what do? They put the drumsticks in the cage with the tarantula because they know Joey won't go near it. Meanwhile, Ross goes to the costume shop. The guy at the costume shop asks him if he's there to return his pants. He's like, no, these are my pants. He's there to find a Santa outfit, but unfortunately, this close to Christmas is just not going to work out. So he asks if they have anything Christmassy. Well, we get a cut to where he walks in and says, I'm the Holiday Armadillo. I'm a friend of Santa's sent here to wish you a Merry Christmas. I just remember the first time I saw the Holiday Armadillo, I could not stop laughing at that. I thought that was such a clever idea. Like, what, the Holiday Armadillo?
Yeah, so they say he's Santa's representative, representing the southern states in Mexico, which I had to look that up because we're in Florida and I've lived around the South. I know I've seen armadillos, but I don't remember where. I've been to Texas like once or twice, so possibly there, but I don't think we've ever seen them anywhere in the coastal South that I can think of. But anyways, armadillos.
So he comes in with a bag of gifts for Ben, and Ben is super excited, and he says, Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. Let me tell you all about the Festival of Lights. So he starts to tell him about Hanukkah, and Ben is starting to get interested in it. And of course, right when he's in the middle of telling him, who walks in but Santa? Ho, ho, ho. Chandler comes in. He's dressed as Santa. And I just love Chandler's reaction here. He says, what are you doing here, weird turtle man? So of course, Ross has to explain, I'm the Holiday Armadillo, your part Jewish friend. And Chandler says, what?
Hey, it just hit me. People love Friends so much. Here's our opportunity to cash in. People love Elf on a Shelf. They're gonna love Armadillo on a Pillow. Let's get it going.
Copyright.
Mark. $40 for a plushie. Pay us, please.
Wow, I like it. Armadillo on a pillow. It could explain all the different holiday festivities, traditions, celebrations around the world. That's perfect. I like it.
That's right. Santa's helper, the armadillo on a pillow. Be good or you're going to sleep.
So Santa tries to put money in Ben's hands. Chandler's still practicing this tipping technique. And Ben drops the money on the floor. And Chandler says, his hands are too damn small. So the armadillo tells Santa he's going to leave. And because Ross just feels defeated. He's trying to get Ben interested in Hanukkah. Of course, Ben only wants to snuggle up to Santa. Meanwhile, Monica asks if Chandler can keep the Santa outfit for one more night. Hubba hubba, wink wink, nudge nudge. Chandler asks, did your dad ever dress up as Santa? She says no, and he says, then it's okay. So basically, Ben says he wants Santa. Chandler says that he wants the armadillo to stay so they can both learn about Hanukkah. So again, things look like they're going to work out where they can explain to Ben about Hanukkah, but what happens? Jay, why don't you tell everybody what Joey comes dressed in as?
So Joey busts in wearing a pretty amazing Superman costume, and they totally missed a good opportunity because Superman's creators are very notably Jewish, and in the comics, I'm not 100% positive. I'm not as big in the DC as Marvel, but I think they at least allude to Superman being Jewish, if not outright show it. I mean, there's a lot of Jewish creators in comics. A lot of the characters are Jewish. Ben Grimm, the Thing from Fantastic Four, very Jewish. They acknowledge that one front and center. But I think they've done that with Superman, so they missed their chance. They could have had Jerry Seinfeld, who's a huge Superman fan. He could have popped in and given us a lesson.
So then we have Rachel and Phoebe. They're touring the apartment. Again, this is the first time they're seeing it after the fire. And turns out that, of course, it was Phoebe's grandma's apartment. It was supposed to be a one-bedroom. She had put up a wall when Phoebe moved in. Well, it's not an official wall, so of course it was taken down when it was rebuilt. It's just a one-bedroom. So Phoebe starts to really dig it, and after all this of trying to drive Rachel away so she'll live with her, she realizes, oh no, she does want to live on her own at this beautiful apartment with one big bedroom. So Phoebe starts to quote-unquote hear her grandmother telling her to stay. Rachel says that she's hearing the grandmother too saying, hey, since Phoebe gets to keep the big apartment, that Rachel should get to keep the purple chair. Phoebe says, I'm not getting that.
So we cut back to Ross, who's still explaining the Jewish traditions and history to Ben, where Superman chimes in and lets him know that he flew all of the Jews out of Egypt that one time, just like in the Bible. But don't think Ross appreciated that. But hey, maybe is that in the King James version? I don't know.
So they decide it's time to light the Hanukkah candles, and Phoebe and Rachel comes in, and Rachel says, "Wow, it looks like the Easter Bunny's funeral." To which Phoebe says, "I understand why Superman is here, but why is there a porcupine at the Easter Bunny's funeral?" So that's how the episode ends. Then we get a scene during the credits. Joey's asking Rachel if the cage is closed, if it's really close to that tarantula because he's scared to death of it. Don't blame him. I'd be freaked out too. She says, "Come out here and stop being such a baby." Now, I did find out something fun behind the scenes about this scene. There was no time for Matt LeBlanc, the actor who plays Joey, to change. He was supposed to be in normal clothes. So when he came out of this door dressed as Superman, Rachel / Jennifer Aniston did not know that that was going to happen. So if you watch closely, you can actually see her start laughing when she sees him like this. And I just love it. I love that the idea is he's supposed to be, tough Superman and he's scared to death of this tarantula. So it's supposedly a genuine reaction from her when you see her laughing when he comes out dressed still as Superman, scared of the tarantula.
And perhaps this is where we learn in Friends canon that tarantulas are Joey's kryptonite.
You might just be onto something there. Guys, I had so much fun recapping this. I love this show. I actually haven't seen an episode in a long time, so it was so fun to rewatch. It was actually really fun to watch with Jay, who had no idea about a lot of this stuff. It was kind of fun filling him in on this stuff. But if you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments. Again, this is just a fun holiday treat I wanted to do, but I am totally down to pick up and recap some Friends. If you have some favorite episodes, let me know. The episode after this one, I actually love. It kept rolling into the next one, which is the one with all the cheesecakes. Remember Chandler and Rachel kept eating the cheesecakes? I thought that was really funny. So it makes me want to go back and watch that. But I don't know. I'm down for anything. I really think about last year, you guys seem to really like when I recap the Great British Bake Off, the holiday one. So I might try to do that. I'm down to recap some more Friends holiday episodes. You'll hear I actually had recorded some Sex and the City that's going up over the holidays and some, the Real Housewives of New York, like season 4. Remember when they went to Morocco and Lou says, even, Louis Vuitton makes mistakes? But anyway, calls Alex McCord to Herman Munster shoes. But so you'll see a lot of stuff coming up on the channel, but I do want to put out some holiday content as well because a lot of you seem to enjoy when I do that. Let me know if there's something specific you want to talk about or recap. I do know that Emily in Paris, the new season's coming out. Thank you all who have pointed that out. I haven't watched it yet. I need to watch the preview for that. I'm very excited to talk about that when it comes out. It'll be around that time that I talk about it, maybe a few days late, depending on what we're doing for the holidays. But don't worry about it. I'll be recapping it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Jay, thanks for being here. Talk about your channel.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And if you haven't checked out my channel before, it is Dr. Bad Vibes. Primarily video games, old video games, Marvel vs. Capcom, more comic book stuff indirectly. And I'm inching up towards 10,000 subscribers, which the milestone there is I can start selling merch, which I'm not trying to build a brand over a 41-year-old white dude, but I can make all kinds of stupid memes and put them on t-shirts. So keep an eye on that. Hopefully I'll have some up soon. So yeah, if maybe there's an old video game you'd like me and Jen to play together, let us know. Also have Contra up there. But also when I hit 10,000, it didn't work so well the last time, but I've got one of those hot chip challenges. So maybe I'll try it again and destroy myself, hopefully for more than a few hundred views.
And if you're still here listening to us be silly, there's one other person that would like to say hello to everybody.
Everyone, I hope you have a great holiday. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. And I also love the Holiday Armadillo. Also subscribe to my mommy.
It doesn't get much cuter than that. Thank you guys so much for being here and for all the love and support throughout the year. We sincerely appreciate it. I really do. I don't tell you enough how much I appreciate you, but I do. I appreciate all the comments you leave, all the views that you give, all the thumbs up, all of that. I really do. It really means the world to me. And I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. And I will be talking to you again very soon. Take care. Bye bye.